Hey guys, welcome to week 3 of business strategy. As you can see, this week we're going to look at those key influences and factors outside of the organisation as part of our external environment analysis. Last week, having looked at those factors within our organisations and how they can play a large part not only in what constitutes the business's strategy but also the overall success of the firm. This week we're going to look at the potential influence of those things that fall outside of the boundaries of our organisations. So with that in mind, the objectives for this week, firstly to define and describe the general environment and the industry environment. The following slide is going to delineate how there are multiple parts of any organisation's external environment. We're going to go through each of those individually and explain why they are important and the varying degrees to which they will influence your firm. We're going to look at the general environment 7 segments in particular, identifying what they are and how they each could influence the organisation. The 5 competitive forces within the firm's industry environment. And how that relates to a firm's industry profit potential, which clearly is of significant consequence to the firm. Defining and looking at strategic groups and why they're important, and especially within the context of strategy, how they'll help us understand where we are positioned as a firm as well as our competitors are also positioned. And finally, looking at what firms need to know about their competitors in particular and the different methods, including the relevant ethical issues that are used to collect intelligence about those competitors. Alright, so just a brief intro to the topic for this week. As I touched on before, there are different parts of any firm's external environment, and there are 3 in particular that we're going to focus on in this unit. The first is known as the general environment. And these are those factors that you can see around the outside of this particular diagram here. Things like the economic, physical, and demographic segments. We're going to go through each of those in turn over the next few videos. But the important thing to understand here is that these, while still significant and potentially very important issues and factors for the firm to consider, don't always have a direct influence on the firm and certainly tend to be less able to be influenced by us as the firm. The industry environment, as we can see here more towards the center of this diagram, on the other hand, these tend to have more of a direct influence on the firm, and certainly we often as a firm have the ability to influence them in turn. So we're going to go through each of those 5 key parts of the firm's industry environment. And finally, as I mentioned before, we're also going to look at the competitor environment, those other firms which represent rivals to your firm, and how we can gain information about them.